Welcome in to the Punt and Pass podcast. I'm your host, Drew Butler, joined alongside my co-host, Jake Fromm. Be sure to follow us on social media. We are at Punt and Pass on X and Instagram. I'm at Drew Butler. He is at Fromm Jake. Puntandpass.com, the number one destination for all things college football. Gearing up for week 3 of the college football season, and unlike week 2, Jake, we got an amazing slate of action coming up this weekend. Tons of big-time matchups inside the SEC. A really good game that we're going to talk about on the Flats. Georgia Tech hosting Clemson right here in Atlanta. A couple of cross-conference matchups as well. It's going to be awesome. It is going to be a great weekend to lock in and take in college football, the sport that we all love. How you been, my man? What's going on?
Yeah, been good. Had a good day. Busy at work, man. Crushing the insurance job.
Oh, wow.
And cannot wait
Crushing
to
it.
dive in to college football, man. Like you said, there is a big slate of games, much better than week 2.
Yes.
Excited about week 3. It's going to be a long and fun Saturday.
Now let's dive into this. Crushing the insurance game.
That's right.
I need an
yes.
explanation. I need what is crushing the insurance game?
I think you have to set expectations low. And this
Okay.
is a turtle race, you know. This is a long and
Yes.
slow game we're playing here. And look, just getting a meeting is crushing it.
It's a win. That's a win.
It's a win. Hey, man, had a great meeting today. It was awesome. I learned a ton. I kept my mouth shut, let my partner talk 99% of the time. I cut in, threw a few jokes, talked a little ball.
There you go.
And smiled
love
and
it.
waved, and it was great. It was a great meeting.
Good deal.
And
That
that
is
in my
crushing it.
book today was crushing it. So I'm so glad you asked. Thanks for that.
I like that. I think everybody needs to know that. And you said it best. The best way to succeed is to set a low bar of expectations. I mean, that most definitely in marriage as well. Let me just get that out there. Been married 11 years. Love my wife, Jackie. We got 3 amazing daughters. Set those low expectations so you can keep exceeding that standard bar. There you go. Let me tell you who does not have low expectations. Humberto Injury Law. This episode of Punt and Pass is brought to you by Humberto Injury Law. If you've been hurt in an accident and need a team that fights for you like we fight on the field, Humberto Injury Law is here for you. Humberto and his team know what it takes to win, and they'll stand by your side every step of the way. Visit HumbertoInjuryLaw.com today to learn more. 770-888-8901. 770-888-8901. I know that number because I've used that number. Last summer, I got rear-ended. I called Humberto. I want a settlement. Simple as that. Did not have to pay anything until Humberto and his team won for me. They can do the exact same for you. This episode of Punt and Pass is brought to you by Humberto Injury Law. Go to HumbertoInjuryLaw.com today. 770-888-8901. And let me tell you who's been exceeding expectations.
There we go. Somebody's got
on PrizePicks. Me. Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, yes. I absolutely have been. This episode of Punt and Pass presented to you by our awesome partners over at PrizePicks as we gear up for week 2 of the NFL season, as we get ready for week 3 of the college football season. The free-to-play jackpot is back. It's free to play. All you got to do, go to the PrizePicks app. Go to prizepicks.com. Download it. Use the promo code PUNT, P-U-N-T, PUNT. When you play your first $5 entry, you get $50 instantly. You get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 entry. I had a buddy last Sunday night. He played his first $5 entry. Guess what his last leg was? It was the under of Josh Allen passing yards, and Josh Allen went for like 280 passing yards in the fourth quarter of that Sunday night game. So he didn't win his entry, but he got $50 instantly because he used the promo code PUNT. I won the Sunday night 3-piece. I won a Monday night 3-piece. My DB 3-piece in college football last week missed by a hair. I got a new one coming up for you in the middle of the show. Download the PrizePicks app. Use the promo code PUNT. Free $50 instantly when you play your first $5 entry, and the free-to-play jackpot for up to $1 million is back again this weekend. So lock in. Thank you so much to our awesome partners over at PrizePicks. All right, we got the housekeeping out of the way. Thank you so much to Humberto Injury Law and PrizePicks, and we have a huge, huge weekend of college football on deck. Of course, we love to talk about Georgia. We're going to start there. We're going 3 and out. It's first down. The Dawgs are traveling to Knoxville, Tennessee to take on the 15th ranked Tennessee Volunteers. It's a big test. There's no doubt about it. Tennessee looks great. Scored 70-plus points a week ago. Georgia's offense on the other side, Jake, a lot to be desired. Tennessee has only lost 1 game at home since 2022, Jake. Yes, it was to Georgia. The Dawgs beat them 38-10 in November of 2023. Where do you want to start? We got to dive in here. Let's give some overarching themes about this game. You're familiar. You up on the Vols in Knoxville. I've also beaten the Vols in Knoxville. It's one of my favorite places to play in the SEC.
Dude, it is cool. The locker room is horrendous. It's a very, very tight feeling stadium. When you're on the field, fans are right there. They can spit on you. The spitting epidemic, I mean, it's just top of mind right now. They can spit on you. They can touch you. You can hear them, the whole nine. Coming out of the tunnel is pretty cool. And the stadium just goes straight up.
Straight up.
It is very loud. I've been there when they checkerboarded it. I mean, pretty cool. I mean, pretty quickly after the first quarter, it, kind of dissipated and got pretty quiet in there. But
41-0 game you're referencing? Yeah,
that was that one. Yeah, in 27.
And I think you ran for a touchdown or two, which is unlike the Jake Fromm I know, but congratulations.
Hey, look, man, I feel like I was a little underrated in athleticism, to be quite honest with you.
Okay.
Are they fast wheels? No. But I think it's enough to get out of trouble.
I believe the term is deceptively slow. Deceptively slow. People think you're slow, but you're not really that slow. 2 touchdowns in Knoxville, rushing by Jake Fromm. I like that.
I had a little wiggle back in the day. I wish I would have probably leaned into that part of my game a little bit more, but just try to use my brain, be a little cerebral, get the ball out. But man, I guess I should have been trying to truck dudes and juke dudes and take off on 50-yard tears. But anyway, I think where you have to start in this game, for me, from a quarterback perspective, is how am I being protected in this game, and what are we going to do, and how are we going to communicate? What kind of game plan are we going in with this game? We're going to have to dumb it down. It's going to have to be simple. It's going to have to be stuff that we know that we can communicate with hand signals, and guys just know their job and know what they're doing. Any kind of look they give us, it doesn't matter. So I think this game starts up front, and what can those 5 guys up front do? Injuries, revolving door of guys playing.
Yeah.
Man, if I'm Gunner, man, I just want to feel very comfortable in the pocket, and I want to be able to go and operate. It's going to be a huge, huge test for this offense.
No question. Kirby Smart's been talking a lot about communication in a hostile environment like Knoxville. I think what's been funny, and the social media fodder between Tennessee and Georgia fans has been great if you're into that sort of thing. Tennessee's fired up. Kirby Smart 0-4 as a player against Tennessee. However, Georgia's won the last 8 straight, Jake, and he has been laying it on the Vols in some pretty big spots, too. Some highly ranked matchups. Georgia's been taking care of business. But when asked about the communication, and I want you to explain this to everybody, he said you have to communicate down the line, meaning Gunnar Stockton is probably talking to his center, and then if he's in the shotgun, he's looking back and talking to his running back, and then the center has to go down the line to get the communication across. Is that accurate, and how hard is that in a super loud spot like Neyland Stadium?
Yeah, it's the old game of telephone, like once you get down 20 people deep, in this case, let's just say
get mixed up.
Yeah, 7 or 8 people deep on each side of the ball. I mean, yeah, are they getting the same message that the center gave the right guard? Hopefully so. And you got to think about the time component of this. We're battling a shot clock, and you got 40 seconds, and what does that look like? So, it's extremely important that everybody's getting the same message and on a congruent and very timely manner. So, and even more so with those guys up front, man. If I'm Tennessee on defense, dude, I'm having floaters. I'm having guys move. I'm changing the point. And I just want to cause a huge headache for Drew Bobo. It's just, hey, if we can just get this guy not knowing what's, just having to communicate with each guy, and that way he didn't have his head up to see what's going on. To me, that would be a huge huge win. I'm not trying to give away any secrets, but that's what I would do if I was playing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty common knowledge for sure. You said set the point. I would assume that's the Mike linebacker. You're identifying the middle linebacker, which then sets the protection direction for the offensive line. Am I right in thinking that? How tough is that to identify the Mike linebacker? You're always, as a quarterback, talking to your line, talking to your running back if he's in pass protection. Is that what you're doing when you're setting the point? And then my other question that I want you to explain is, with the wide receivers so far away from the center of the formation, what are you doing to communicate with those guys? Are they getting a lot of mixed signals when things change or a protection changes?
Well, I think a terrible answer is it depends. It could be very simple of like, hey, this guy's in the middle of 3. That's pretty obvious. Hey, point to that guy. But it just depends on how complex your running game is and the rules and making sure, hey, center's got the mic, and then right guard tackle got the +1, and then the tight end and the receivers to a degree have the force player. Well, who is the force player? Is it the safety when he's rolled down, but it's the corner in cloud? And so it can get kind of confusing. It doesn't have to be, but depending on what the run scheme is going into this game, are there a bunch of shifts and motions? Well, are the linebackers bumping? Or are they going to have a guy running over the top and everybody staying the same? So stuff like that can change. What could be very difficult is in third down, in these rush and blitz packages that the defense can give you. Are they in 4 down? Are they in 3 down? Well, man, on third down, especially third and long, they're going to bring in other bodies on defense, right? Guys with weird numbers, guys that are fresh and they're just there to go and rush the passer. So that's where it can get kind of confusing. Who's a down guy? Who's going to play defensive line? Where are we sorting to? Who's our +1 here? And the back's just like, man, I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to stay right here. I'm not going to move and block whoever comes
to him. Yeah, block whoever comes. You said one thing, you'd want to keep it simple. One of the rules of thumbs of football is simple allows guys to play fast, but simple is not always easy, right? I mean, I think that is certainly what Georgia's going to be up against heading into Knoxville this weekend. Again, a lot to be desired from the offense, plenty to be desired from the run game as well. And no surprise here, you're going to want to run the ball to chew up the clock, start to dominate the line of scrimmage, and probably most importantly in this spot for an inexperienced quarterback in an SEC road game atmosphere like Gunnar Stockton, you need to get the crowd at least somewhat out of the football game. I mean, that has to be a message that Kirby Smart, Mike Bobo, Stacey Stroles, everybody on that offensive staff is saying. We have got to set the line of scrimmage early, and we have got to really force our will on Tennessee to help get this crowd a little bit more tame, because it's going to be rocking. If Tennessee wins the toss and defers, and Gunnar Stockton is under center first snap of the game with 14:58 on the game clock, it's going to be deafening in there.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. I think this game starts obviously with a fast start. Like you said, there has to be some component of how can we give Gunnar the most confidence early. Now, the wrinkle in all this is that Tennessee is going to be without 2 of their best corners.
I know their D-line's banged up too.
And hey, I mean, they don't have their dudes. They're playing single high, trying to put extra hat in the box because we've been running the ball. It's like, man, we're going to have to take a shot at some point. So I think there will be shots taken down the field here in this game. I think it's just by nature of what Tennessee's going to make the offense do in this one. So I think there's a lot of Georgia fans out there. They're going to get their wish and get Gunnar throwing this ball down the field. So I think we'll get a heavy dose of that, actually.
All right, let me give you 2 players real quick who I want to see flash on Saturday. One, Zachariah Branch. Look, dude, you're a 5-star. You probably got a nice NIL package. You were a preseason All-American as a kick returner. You did a lot of good stuff at Southern Cal. You've shown us you can shake and sprint down the field. This is a 5-star football game. You have absolutely got to rely on your playmakers. I would expect a heavy dose of Zachariah Branch this weekend. And let's talk Dillon Bell. Okay. Dillon Bell had a touchdown. He played great in this game back in 2023 when Georgia beat Tennessee 38-10 in Knoxville. That is a guy who can gain a ton of confidence moving forward this season if Georgia's offense goes through him. I'd love to see Dillon Bell get in the mix out of the backfield, across the middle with some tough catches, a couple of third down conversions. Let's get Dillon Bell going a little bit. The guy has proven he can play at this level. He can play big-time plays in big-time games. Zachariah Branch, Dillon Bell, my 2 X factors heading into this Saturday for Georgia.
Yeah, I love both those picks. I think for Dillon, it's just a confidence thing. I really do. I think just find some way to get him involved. Let's allow him to break a tackle, catch a football, and just let the rest kind of take care of itself. But my X factor in this one would be the defense and just how can they slow down the Tennessee offense.
Keep it in front of you.
Like, yes, just bend, don't break, keep it in front. Just let them make a mistake. They're going to get greedy, going to get antsy. They're going to want to take shots. That's when the turnovers come.
Yeah.
And man, Tennessee's rocking. Joey Aguilar is crushing the deep ball right now, man. Starting off hot here to start this football season off. So just slow that guy down. Don't let him do it, and just kind of take away his zinger and keep it in front, like you said.
No doubt, College GameDay will be there. There'll be plenty of pageantry around this matchup. Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit are calling the game. How much does that affect pregame prep in the week? Does it take away from any of your film study? I mean, talk to us as a quarterback because, Gunnar Stockton's got to be getting pulled in a million different directions heading into this game.
I would say when I was playing, it didn't really bother me that much. The only thing that's a little different would be, like you said, there is an extra meeting there with Kirk, with Chris, whoever's calling the game. Obviously, if game day's there, it will be those guys to talk about the game and give your thoughts. They'll ask you some questions to help them do their job and get a feel where you're at. I mean, that meeting, can last 5 minutes, can last 15, can last 30. It kind of depends, but that was never a huge distraction I ever thought for me. I do have a question for you, Drew.
Please.
There was a little heat on social media about, hey, it doesn't always have to be an SEC or a Big Ten kind of game for game day to go to it. Now, you have this USF and Miami game.
Right.
People were saying, hey, like this was a great opportunity to go somewhere else, somewhere different. Do you have any thoughts or a take on that?
I saw some rumblings. A great question. I saw some rumblings around, USF Miami is a top 15 matchup, just like Georgia and Tennessee is. And obviously the game is on ABC. They want to prop up their own football games that are being played on their network. But I don't know if this is true or not. I've not been able to confirm the report. But supposedly at Hard Rock Stadium, which is a ways away from Coral Gables, the campus of Miami, there were some logistical issues around setting up College GameDay at Hard Rock Stadium. I would probably just say, in my estimation, it was because ABC and ESPN want to prop up their own game. So they headed over to Georgia, Tennessee, which gives me a little bit of reason to think that maybe they won't be at the Georgia, Alabama game in 2 weeks. Just a thought there.
Yeah. Back to back. That is an interesting thought. I hadn't looked ahead. I don't even know what kind of other games would be
a huge weekend that weekend. Yeah, it's a big weekend. So they're going to have their pick of the litter for sure. All right, good stuff there. We're going to dive into that game when we go inside the 5. We'll give you our official predictions coming up here in just a little bit. All right, let's go to second down. A story that broke Tuesday that took social media by storm. The AP Top 25 poll came out, and when the AP Top 25 poll gets released, it is released each individual poll. So there are pollsters who are invited to be AP voters, and every single week you can find it probably on the AP website. Every single person's top 25 poll gets released. Well, somebody was looking through it, and they saw a beat writer for, I believe, Southern Cal. Her name is Haley Sawyer. She moved Florida up 2 spots in her top 25 to 14th. From 16 to 14. Newsflash. Florida lost at home to South Florida last Tuesday. And not only did she move Florida up 2 spots, she kept South Florida out of her top 25 completely. South Florida whooped up on Boise State, a top 25 team in week 1. Boise State, who was thought to be the way ahead leader to be the Group of 4 representative once again in the college football playoff. Then they go into the Swamp and beat a top 25 Florida team. So that's 2 top 25 victories for South Florida. She leaves them out of the top 25. She moves Florida up 2 spots after having lost at home to South Florida. And, buddy, people took it and ran with it. They absolutely crushed this poor girl on social media. Sorry, you want to play in these college football streets? You got to toughen up. I mean, people will come at you every which way. A horrible look. She gave a horrible explanation as to why she did this. And it brings up the bigger point, Jake. What's going on with the AP top 25 poll? I mean, our boy Zach Klein here in town, WSB, he's got a vote. He deserves it. He knows his ball. He's been a sports director for one of the biggest stations in the country at WSB. I went and checked out his poll. It looks pretty legit, right? I would assume that a lot of these people take it very seriously. But when you have something that sticks out like a sore thumb like this, you're like, is the entire process just antiquated? Do these publications and these beat writers just step into these roles and then are handed the keys to a top 25 poll? Whether you like it or not, the polls create and they direct a lot of the narratives around college football from week to week. This was a horrible, horrible look. Brings up a lot of questions. What's the deal here?
I'm still trying to figure out, how she got a vote, and then what she was watching on Saturday, or if she even watched any ball on Saturday. I think what we all want at the end of the day is ball knowers,
correct,
being close to the decisions and what gets promoted, what gets put out, and so I want to say right here and right now, and in front of the whole world here on my computer screen, I want to nominate Drew Butler to get an AP vote here, because he's a ball knower. I mean, this guy knows his stuff. He keeps up with what's going on, not just regionally, not just Georgia, not just the SEC. I mean, he knows the whole deal, and I think he should really, take this poor lady's vote, because obviously
hand the keys over.
She didn't know what's going on, and give it over to DB over there.
You know what? I'll take it. Thank you so much, Jake. I'm an AP top 25 voter now. Look, I would take it very seriously. I do watch 100%. A lot of ball. I just think there should be some sort of requirements. I'm not saying she doesn't know ball. She's kind of telling on herself. I'm not saying females should not be AP top 25 voters.
I don't think that's what we're saying here. We just want ball knowers
who are in there. But when you do something like that, like you failed the test, you should not be allowed to continue. So Haley Sawyer, sorry for the shrapnel you're catching on social media, but you kind of brought it onto yourself. Be better. Do your job. Do your job. AP top 25. We got to tighten up, right? Tighten up. Speaking of tightening up, let's go to third down. This is a story that I absolutely love. If you've been a longtime Punt and Pass listener, you know one of my favorite things to do is to be highly critical of football officials. Well, the Big 12 has reprimanded an officiating crew that was on the Missouri-Kansas game a week ago, and they have taken them off their assignment for this Friday night's football game. That's right. You heard me correctly. A Big 12 officiating crew that was supposed to be on the Friday night game this weekend was on the Missouri-Kansas game last weekend, and they missed a call. Quote, a play occurred in the first quarter after Missouri's first touchdown when the Tigers were flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct. Kansas blocked the extra point attempt, and the ensuing kickoff was illegal. Big 12 officials allowed a punt to occur on a free kick in violation of Rule 2, Section 16, Article 6 of the NCAA football rules. That Big 12 officiating crew has been removed from its next scheduled assignment on Friday. We need more of this, okay? We need more of this. Take responsibility. If you mess up, there should be consequences. And I haven't checked. I probably should check. A former teammate of mine, Brandon Wood, a defensive lineman at Georgia, he is an official in the Big 12. Is he on this crew?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I need to text him right now. Give me 5 seconds and I'll find out. But B. Wood, I'm critical. He listens to Punt and Pass. Sometimes he tells me, you don't know what you're talking about. I tell him, I do know what I'm talking about. You need to do better at your job. So we have fun with it. But, Jake, I love this. You have to hold these officials responsible. They can certainly sway the outcome of a football game. And Eli Drinkwitz, the Missouri head coach, was asked about it, and he kind of chuckled and said, hey, we just wanted to see if we can get away with it. And they did, and it cost these officials an assignment coming up on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big deal. Like you said, I mean, in any other part of the game or part of the space, if you mess up, there are consequences, except for the zebras. So I mean, I'm not an official hater by any means. I feel like I always had great relationships with whoever was on crew and the white hat during our game. I think that also comes with the territory of playing quarterback. I mean, that guy's got your back. If you're, taking on all these late hits, you're like, hey, watch 97 over there now. He's getting me. Right. So there's a little give and take there, but I do think for the integrity of the game, I mean, I love to see the same standard held for the officials. So I think this is overall good. And then something you have to think about as well, much like if you're in the NFL and you have an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty and you get suspended for games, like, hey, these officials, I mean, for most of them, I mean, this is their job, and they're going to miss out on a paycheck. So this is a big deal. I think this is a step in the right direction.
Step in the right direction. I totally agree. I just sent Brandon Wood a text. I'm sure he'll text me back. Maybe he feels bad because if he was on that crew, he might be a little upset. But you know what? When I do bad at my job and I get in trouble, I'm upset too. But we're all adults, all right? So that's just where I'm at here. I want to see more of this in college football. We need to hold these people accountable. And I'm glad the Big 12 is starting somewhere. It's a big deal.
I don't know how accurate this is, but I'm on Grok right now and just kind of got a wild hair. And I said, hey, how much do Big 12 officials get paid each week? It said per game compensation, according to data from 2023, college football officials in Power 5 conferences like the Big 12 are generally paid per game. Veteran referees for men's games in major conferences can earn around $3,000 per game. This can vary conference and role. Anyway, that's what I got. I'm sure that actually they probably get paid a lot more than that.
They do. I mean, look, the big officials, they've got cush, insurance and legal jobs and financial advisors. Then they get paid nicely to go hang out on Friday nights, eat a nice steak dinner, wake up, have some fun.
Look, it's a good gig for sure. Yeah.
Oh,
like if you're just an inherently smart dude, love the, line 6, article 7, 37-V6, like if you love that part. Now I love the rules of the game and trying to figure out how to use that for my advantage, but there's definitely many parts of the game where it's just, all right, just tell me just tell me what it is. Tell me what we should do and let's move on, because this is getting a little too much for me,
A lot of times it comes down to the fourth quarter, and officials can absolutely determine the outcome of a football game. You know who else knows that football comes down to the fourth quarter? Humberto injury law. That's right. Football games are won in the fourth quarter, and cases are won with relentless effort. Humberto injury law never lets up. They fight until the final whistle for every client. If you need a team that won't quit, check them out, HumbertoInjuryLaw.com. Call them today, 770-888-8901. 770-888-8901. I was in the fourth quarter. I needed help. I called Humberto Injury Law. I didn't have to pay until they won for me. They did. They won for me. It's what they do. They close it out in the fourth quarter. Thank you so much. This episode of Punt and Pass is brought to you by Humberto Injury Law. Check them out, HumbertoInjuryLaw.com. I've got the DB3 piece. Are you ready?
Dude, I'm so ready for this.
All right, because we're about to start diving in to a massive slate of week 3 college football games. But first, you know it. Every Thursday episode, I give you the DB3 piece. It is my PrizePicks entry of the week. This week, both teams from Georgia and Georgia Tech are playing in big games. So we're going to keep it within those two schools. We'll start at noon. Yes, Georgia Tech is hosting Clemson. Looks like Haynes King's going to play. He did not play a week ago. This dude is an absolute truck. If Tech has any chance of winning, you know that he's going to have to put matters into his own hands. He may be banged up. He might be a little hobbled. He's going for more than 50.5 rushing yards, okay? Ooh. Clemson's going to be ready for it. Clemson's going to be scheming up for it. It's just what Haynes King does. Haynes King, Georgia Tech quarterback, more than 50.5 rushing yards. Let's stay on the ground, and let's go up to Knoxville. a lot of conversation is around Tennessee's 2 starting defensive backs, their cornerbacks being out. However, their defensive line is banged up too. Nate Frazier needs to have a big day. Nate, you got to get the ball moving. Nate Frazier, Georgia running back, more than 61.5 rushing yards. Nate Frazier, more than 61.5 rushing yards for the Dogs up in Knoxville. And look, we're going to stay on Georgia's offense. This is not a game that Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo are going to throw to Gunnar Stockton and say, you need to win it for us, okay? They're going to do a lot of ball control. Gunnar might get a touchdown on the ground. He might add one through the air. I don't think he's going to have 2 passing touchdowns. Gunnar Stockton less than 1.5 passing touchdowns. That is your DB3 piece this week. It is cashing. I flexed it. Just to let everybody know, I flexed it. $20. I'm going to win 60 when all 3 hit. Gunnar Stockton, less than 1.5 passing touchdowns. Nate Frazier, more than 61.5 rushing yards. And Haynes King, more than 50.5 rushing yards. Download the PrizePicks app. Use the promo code PUNT. Your first $5 entry gets you $50 instantly. There are also free-to-play college football and NFL jackpots available. Up to $1 million in prizes are up for grabs. Shout out to PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app. Use the promo code PUNT. Thank you to PrizePicks. All right, let's go inside the 5. We got some awesome games, and we'll start in Knoxville. We got to do it. This is a heavy Georgia-Tennessee episode of Punt and Pass. Number 6, Georgia, traveling up north to Knoxville, Tennessee, to take on the 15th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers. 3:30 p.m. kick on ABC. That's right.
ABC.
And Fowler and Herb Street are on the call. Georgia's a 3.5-point favorite, Jake. The total was 49.5. This line opened at 7. Both the pros and the Joes hammered Tennessee. They love Tennessee plus 7. And it came all the way down to 3.5. And the public is still on it. However, that number has settled. And I think this could be a classic fade the public underdog play. Seems like it happens every year when Georgia plays Tennessee. Everybody loves Tennessee. They love that high-flying Josh Heupel offense. But Kirby Smart has really been Josh Heupel's Achilles heel.
Yeah.
There could be some value on the Dogs minus 3.5.
No, I think you're exactly right. I am Georgia in this game to cover. Yes, I'll just come out and say it. I won't even kind of get into all the goodies there. I will say, back to your DB3 piece, which I love so much. I think if Nate Frazier rushes for over 61.5 yards, like you said he will. Yes. I think that equals a Georgia victory.
Correct.
I think this is a ground and pound game. SEC.
Sure.
This is a physical game. This is one in the trenches here, and I think that's just where you got to start. I think that may be a little bit of that kryptonite, like you mentioned there, with the Kirby Smart defense versus a Josh Heupel offense.
I totally agree. I mean, there was a statistic when I was in school. If Coach Rick's teams had a 100-yard rusher, he was winning at like a 95% clip. Like, you're just going to win football games in the SEC if you have a running back who goes for more than 100 yards. It ain't hard, people. We say it every week. Don't turn the ball over. Win the run game. Rush the passer. You're going to force turnovers. You're going to win the football game, especially when you're on the road. Kirby Smart and this Georgia team know the recipe. Now, does Gunnar Stockton? That remains to be seen. That is the biggest unknown. Has Joey Aguilar been putting up huge stats? Yes, he has. Did they whoop up on Syracuse and then turn around and lay it on East Tennessee State or where they played?
Did.
Oh, of course
sure
they did. That's not Georgia's game plan. They don't pad stats against the, sisters of the blind, for lack of a better term. And Josh Heupel has done that because his offense is created to do so. But Kirby Smart knows how to get his guys in the right position. He knows how to scheme up defenses to take away some of those deep shots, some of those schemes that have those guys running way downfield, wide open. I like Georgia here too. And I'm seeing some people, some are former Georgia players that are like, nope, this is it. I've seen enough. They didn't look good enough against Austin Peay. Offensive line does has too many questions. Ernest Green and Juan Gaston, they have been practicing this week. I would probably think Dalen Everett does play. Like, Georgia has been waiting for this game since the beginning of the season. Call me a homer. I'll be right. I'm laying 3.5 with the Dogs. This is recipe that does not get old. And Kirby Smart knows how to get his guys ready for moments like this. They are ready. I do believe that. I think the first 2 weeks have kind of gotten this team more Zoom focused on an opportunity like this, Jake. So I'm on the same side as you. I'm going with Georgia, and I'm going to lay the 3.5. I think they have a good week, and I've been talking to my buddy who's a rabid Tennessee fan. I'm like, Georgia's going to lose. Georgia's going to lose. Like, this is it. I texted him Saturday night. I'm not even going to watch the game. Georgia's going to get smoked, and he was like, no, you're not. Our defense is so banged up. Heupel can't beat Kirby. So we're kind of doing the same reverse psychology thing, but I'm starting to listen to what he's saying, and I'm like, okay,
that's right.
So I'm going with Georgia, laying 3.
Last note I do want to add here. I think schematically on defense, there will be a lot put on Ellis Robinson and Dalen Everett.
Sure.
I think just to suffocate them on offense, to be one-dimensional and make them have to throw the football. And as long as those two guys have a big game, and obviously eliminate the big plays, which are so just critical in a Josh Heupel offense. If they can do that, I think it'll be a very, very long night for Tennessee.
Yeah, it's always been feast or famine for Josh Heupel and his offenses at Tennessee. But I will say, through 2 weeks, Tennessee has definitely won the trade Joey Aguilar for Nico Iamaleava. Gonna be a great one to watch. All right, let's go to the flats real quick. 12th ranked Clemson coming into Georgia Tech to take on the Yellow Jackets. This game is at noon on ESPN. Clemson right now a 3-point favorite over at BetOnline. All of these lines are provided to you via BetOnline. Go sign up over there. The total is 54 points. This is interesting because Clemson did not look good a week ago. They were down 16-0 against Troy, and Georgia Tech. Look, they're taking care of business as well. This is a statement game for the Yellow Jackets and Brent Key. Can they get over the hump? They've taken down big-time top 10 teams inside Bobby Dodd Stadium before. What are you thinking here? Is Haynes King going to have the boys right?
Man, this one is such a tough one for me because at the beginning of the year, I'm like, man, Clemson's going to be so much better than people think. And then you come out and watch the first 2 games of the year, and you're like, ugh, this is not what I thought. This is a very slow start to the year.
Yep.
The LSU game was tough, but then the Troy game was like, this is not good. Not passing the eye test like we talked about with the Dogs there for a little bit. Man, I don't know. I with Haynes King coming back, I want to hammer Georgia Tech right here.
All right. Jake loves the Jackets. There you go. Taking the 3 points with the home dog. I like that play as well. However, I'm going with Clemson. It's a buy low spot for Clemson. You know, they put up a great fight against LSU in that first half. They were looking great. LSU smoked them in the second half. Maybe a little bit of a layover, hangover type game against Troy when you got to prepare so hard for that week 1 final exam, as Dabo Sweeney called it. I think they have the opportunity here to kind of get right. And I'm going to lay 3 points with Clemson, not to take anything away from Tech. I think it'll be a great game. I think Clemson wins by a touchdown. So I will go with the more experienced team on the flats. I'm taking Clemson minus the 3. We'll go quickly through this one. Wisconsin coming down south to Tuscaloosa to take on the 19th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Noon kickoff on ABC. This is a huge line, 20.5 points. I know Wisconsin has not exactly gotten off to the start that they wanted to as Luke Fickell with their head coach. But this is a lot of points here, Jake. I'm going to take Wisconsin. Give me 20.5.
Well, give me Bama because of just this one stat line from last week. It was quarterback Ty Simpson.
Okay.
17 of 17.
Yeah, pretty strong.
For 226 yards and 3 tuds.
That's a good day at the office.
That's insane.
That's called crushing it, as you said earlier. Crushing it.
I mean, just from week 1 to week 2, Bama can't do this. They got to have a change at quarterback. What's going on? And then this dude comes out. Yes, it was Louisiana Monroe, but man, I don't care. I don't care who you're playing. 17 to 17.
Totally agree.
Like, dude, there's throwaways, there's drops, there's this and that. 17 to 17 for 225 and 3 touchdowns. Buddy, that's pretty solid.
Jake rolling with the Tide, laying 20.5. They'll get a bye week next week. So will Georgia to get ready for the Georgia-Alabama game coming up on September 27th. We're on opposite sides there. Florida taking on third-ranked LSU in Death Valley on ABC. LSU's a 7.5-point favorite. The total here is 48.5. Look, I think it's another buy low spot as well. Everybody's down in Florida.
Okay.
Get Billy Napier out of there. This is going to be a feisty one. Give me 7.5 points with the Florida Gators.
Dude, I do not want to agree with you, but I'm going to have to do it. I thought this was going to be where you zig and I zag,
I'm one
but
step ahead of
maybe
you.
but maybe it's just us versus everybody else because it's like everybody LSU, they look good, they're the real deal. Florida just lost to, USF. Now, they may turn out to be a really good football team. I have no idea,
Right.
but this is like a must-win spot
Yes.
for them because we spoke about their schedule on the last episode. I mean, they have to win, and they have to win now.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And DJ Lagway's a good quarterback. I mean, let him get back there, sling it a little bit, need some protection on the offensive line. Yes, it'll be hostile and volatile in Death Valley, but I think they'll keep it close. I'm not saying Florida's going to win, but give me 7.5 with the Gators. How about this game up in South Bend? 16th ranked Texas A&M heading up to Notre Dame to take on the 8th ranked Fighting Irish. 7:30 p.m. on NBC. Two blue bloods in college football, two great brands. This will be an awesome Jersey game. Notre Dame's an 6.5 point favorite. The total here, 49.5. Mike Elko has been like horrible against the spread in his tenure at Texas A&M. Notre Dame coming off a bye as well. I'm going to go with the Irish here. They need a win after that week 1 loss. I'll lay 6.5 with Notre Dame.
Well, I will go with the Aggies here. Notre Dame winless this season. The only winless team ranked in the top 10. Yes, they had that early bye, but it's still just kind of like funny. Like, what? No way. Like, yeah, no, actually, they're winless and they're in the top 10. But the Aggies. I like the Aggies in this one just because I feel like they just owe Notre Dame one from last year.
Right.
Notre Dame came to town, beat them when Texas A&M should have won that football game. And I think the confidence that the Aggies will have from that, like, hey, man, we need to go out and get them. And I think it's just going to be a very weird spot for Notre Dame to start this season 0-2.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Talking
about they were in the national championship game last year. So I agree. You say Texas A&M keeps it close, owes them some revenge. I think Notre Dame wins by a touchdown, so I'll lay 6.5. All right, quickly. You talked about it earlier. 18th ranked South Florida at 5th ranked Miami. 4:30 p.m. on the CW. I said that correctly. The CW network will be airing this football game. They're saying it's the biggest sporting event ever aired on the CW. Another huge line. Miami minus 17.5. Give me South Florida plus 17.5. Nick Saban even said it. South Florida's got some dogs on defense. I think they'll be able to get after Carson Beck a little bit, make him uncomfortable. A team that's riding high like South Florida, give me 17.5 points.
I'm going to have to completely disagree with you here on this one. I think Miami thumps them.
Wow.
I mean, thumps them hard. I think Carson has a day. They have some pass rushers in Miami, and they are some monsters. And I love what they're doing on offense with Carson right now, man. Carson's running the show. He's spinning it, and he is throwing it all around the yard. And I really like what they're doing.
It's going to be a fun game to watch. I mean, that will be a good one to keep on. Maybe flip over there at halftime of that 3:30 slate, Georgia, Tennessee, because Miami and South Florida will be duking it out. Jake says it will be a thumping by the Canes and Carson Beck. I think South Florida keeps it close. They're playing with a ton of confidence, so that will be a really good one. The story of the college football season so far, Alex Golish, a great head coach as well. Two other games, we're not even going to talk about them, but in the SEC, Vandy, who spanked Virginia Tech. They're at 11th ranked South Carolina. Arkansas is at 17th ranked Ole Miss. So amazing action all weekend long in college football. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Punt and Pass. As always, it has been brought to you by Humberto Injury Law. Remember, Humberto Injury Law is your first call when accidents happen. Don't wait. Visit HumbertoInjuryLaw.com today. Humberto Injury Law, protecting people, fighting for justice, winning results. HumbertoInjuryLaw.com, 770-888-8901. In this episode, presented to you by our amazing partners over at PrizePicks. I gave you the DB3 piece. I'll put it up on social media. Sign up for PrizePicks. Go to PrizePicks.com. Use the promo code PUNT. Download the app. Your first $5 entry gets you $50 instantly. Follow us on social media at Punt and Pass, at Drew Butler, at From Jake, puntandpass.com. Jake, anything on the way out, my man?
Yeah, going to be an awesome weekend. Tune in on A&F and watch me and Drew Butler talk about the Dawgs.
Yeah, we'll get you ready. 2:30 Atlanta News First. We will be there. Thanks to everybody for watching. Subscribe on YouTube. Check us out on TV. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you on Tuesday. See you.
We out.